You have to be the most patient human being on earth to have a special needs child. Each one of the kids has some deficit in learning. So we have some of the kids with severe ADHD, and then some of them with real, true autism. But each one of my kids has a little taste of something.
Dad, I'm a teenager. I don't want to get looked at by you.
And Matt's as well. Both of his children are on the spectrum. We've all admitted that. When I met Matt, I had 4 kids. He had 2. It was literally probably the first month we were together that somebody said, "You guys are the Brady Bunch of autism." I mean, it's crazy. And that stuck. It really stuck. Put a piece in for me. We're here in the San Fernando Valley, which is really centrally located for all of our kids. This year we have 6 children in 6 different schools. But we have black mold, and so we have to relocate. Our issue that's really been kind of a complicated one is finding a house that can accommodate a family of 8 and still be reasonably affordable. Willie, you have a jacket?
Yeah, it's in my room. I have a leather one. I look like an actual man in this.
We're missing the 2 bigger boys this weekend, and Jake actually might be in town this afternoon, we're hoping. But Max is in Sacramento with his debate team.
Pretty rough.
Well, I'll tell you, on top of all of our move that's going on, my mom had a stroke 2 days ago in Orange County. No, not 2 days, 4 days. And I've been going back and forth to Orange County, so I'm just living on pure crack right now. I'm kidding about that.
And that's why we're moving right there.
Yeah, we have black mold. There was like a deep, deep crease, and it just...
And we saw black underneath it.
Yeah, but I mean, the crease was like, you could tell it was like deep, and it was as deep as that, just the first crease, and it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. One of the long-term effects of the mold is the glands, the swollen glands, and it's hard to be an effective mom when you're tired all the time. Wolf, let's go, man. I couldn't imagine anything could be more stressful than last year with my dad passing, but this has really capped it, I think. You know, time is not on our side, so we're really rushing this move. There's different levels, and we have literally one of each.
There are many beautiful things about autism, many, many beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous things about autism. But the very stark reality is that it's going to put some massive hurdles in front of the development of your child. Mm-hmm. And that is something that is not beautiful.
I don't like when people just stare at me.
When there's a diagnosis, you mourn what your dreams were. So, you know, for Eddie, there are certain dreams that you had for Eddie. For Will, there are certain dreams that we had for Will. For Wolf, there are dreams we have, and you know, I'm not as worried about Wolf though. But you have to mourn what your preconceived desires for your own child. You have to mourn, and then kind of morph it into, you know, really kind of pushing them in the right areas where they want to be. My life was fundamentally changed when Will was diagnosed.
This is kind of personal, you guys, but I have a crush. Her name's Isabella, and she's in 8th grade. She likes me. It's like she comes up to give me a hug. I'm fine with it. And please stop staring at me, that creeps me out, Dad.
I love you, and I'm enjoying hearing this.
No.
I'm loving hearing this. I think there's something beautiful about the individual with autism. I think they're unique souls that often have insights into the world and where we live, and it's incredible. And I love sitting and talking with them. I love interacting with them, and I think I might have a little bit of it myself. Yeah, are you a gentleman with her?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Dad, why do you care?
Because you're my son, and I want you to be a gentleman.
I am. I hold the door open for ladies. That's a gentleman. I help Nana out of the car. That's a gentleman. Sometimes I even hold the ladies' room door for the ladies.
There's just a world in there that I want to access, that I want to be a part of.
I give you a ballerina. One watch. I can do a 360.
Sometimes it could get a bit hectic. I sort of like try to ignore all the like drama about like oh, we should get this house, no, we should get this house, no, we should get this house, da da da, and I just try and like cover my ears and forget about it.
A person who has high functioning autism is called Asperger's, and right?
Well, I think that autism is now the all-encompassing thing, and I think
Right,
Asperger's...
but Wolfie's not. Wolfie tells people to their face, like, "Oh, I have autism."
He's what would have classically been labeled Asperger's when they were labeling people with
Right.
Asperger's.
I've been trying to get straight A's for like every single year and grade that I'm in, and so far I've been doing pretty well at that. Even though the last trimester I got all A's except a B+.
I know what his issues are already. Cognitively, Wolfie is off the charts.
There are a lot of things I struggle with. One thing in particular is a lot of times I can get extremely frustrated to the point in which I stand up, flip over, chair, and walk out of the classroom.
I don't want to leave it on much longer. I'll just leave it on for another hour. Let's just leave it on for another 10 minutes.
I found out about hair dyeing, and like I've seen it as something very cool through YouTube, because a lot of YouTubers that I watch, almost 90% of them do a video like I dye my hair for the first time, and a lot of people do like blue and red and purple and green, and I'm like, I want to try that. I see myself as like, I wouldn't say the popular kid.
Handsome selfie man here.
Being popular is not really what I want. I just want to be respected and have like someone to turn to if I ever am if I'm ever feeling down or if I'm like struggling with something.
I have a lot of responsibilities being the older sister. I'm always like forced to like stay in during the weekends and like have to like watch Eddie or something.
Okay, everyone stay with Aviva, please. Aviva's in charge. Aviva's in charge.
I could see that like just the stress of having honestly like a lot of kids in our family with like slight disabilities. It really does put the pressure on like having to find schools and like extra help and having to like tend to their food needs and all of their little technologies that they need, and it's tough, but I know that like Matt and my mom's love is so much stronger than that, and I feel like even though they have such hardships, like it'll just improve their relationship in the end, make them stronger.
Fix toes. Here, Eddie. Fix the toes.
Put put this in between this. No. Here. Come on. There. Now we're good. Come on, Eddie.
The slight chance of me having a child with autism, I feel like I'll definitely just love him the same as any other child that I'll have. Like, yeah, it's scary, the fact that, like, your child could be, like, a little bit different than everyone else, but in the end, we're all a little bit different than each other, and so I feel like I'll just love him as much as anyone else, I guess.
No, do you know that's their house? Ready? Ah! No, do you know?
That is not cool.
Do you know? I'm not trying to be cool.
Will, aren't you hot right now?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's plastic.
Yeah, jump in.
Okay.
Okay.
I love being in the pool.
I know you love being in the pool. It's your favorite thing in the whole wide world, huh?
said
Eddie,
that?
you know, he literally can be in the pool all year round. Even if it's 30 degrees out, he'll have a wetsuit on and be in the pool. So thankfully, Grandpa Ed, Zadie we call him, lives just a very few miles away. So we're in his pool at least once or twice a week, thankfully. He's quite zapping.
You go get him, Mommy. Mommy, go.
No, you get it. Jump in.
Okay.
You can do it. Show. Eddie has a very common condition that a lot of the kids have, which is just a lack of, it's almost like puppy syndrome. They just have no cap for fullness. So he could eat a huge meal and then he'd say, I'm hungry, or what are we gonna eat next? He's 7 years old and he weighs 120 pounds. You know, he's a big guy.
Mommy, you get me a cookie.
I know you want many cookies, Eddie. I know, cookies. First, do some more exercise before you get your next cookie.
Okay. Here we go. You give me a cookie.
No, 3 times.
No, you have to go. You have to do
Go
it
back here,
two
and
more
then
times.
2 more times.
I was always the parent who, if my child started crying, I'd pick him up and leave the room, and you know, I was polite. I wouldn't allow my kid to be a brat. But this isn't being a brat. And it could be anything can trigger them. I mean, I'd take him into the grocery store and I didn't realize, but the fluorescent lights are a trigger for a lot of autistic kids. And because of these tantrums, I was terrified to take him alone into the grocery store. And eventually, as I became more confident and I started to work with Autism Speaks, and it's funny, Matt was hired to Autism Speaks the month before Edwin was diagnosed. So my brother, who had been decades friends with Matt, he said to me, call my friend Matt. He just was hired to this wonderful organization. I know he can help you and give you advice. And the first thing Matt said to me was, join a mom support group. Talk to these moms that can give you advice. He said, I don't really know how to give you the kind of advice that these moms can. I'll just tell you that you're going through the hardest time in your journey, and it is going to get better. One of the hardest issues special needs parents have is finding a good support system and a good team. And for me, it was very difficult. I'm absolutely a Jewish paranoid mom, and to really trust somebody with my child. And so we've been blessed with this wonderful friend of ours who I used to work with him, and he has ABA training, and he's just really qualified. But we need 2 of him.
Good luck. That's hard.
Well, let's take a look. Let's see what we got here, okay? So what I do is I come in and I work with Will, helping out with homework, you know, getting to and from places.
Okay. Well, can I look at it and learn it real quick so I can teach it?
Yeah.
Okay. Every time we do this, it's a little different now.
Yeah.
One thing I do is supporting the family. So it's fun. Will's grown about, like, I want to say 3 feet since I met him, you know? And I also work with Eddie as well and hang out with them, you know? But mainly I focus on just helping Will with his homework.
Mike is really excellent for Will. And, you know, I'm supposed to be starting to work full-time again in the next month or so. So now we're really down to the wire of looking for somebody for Eddie because Mike is starting to work more and he's not going to have as much time. And not only is he not going to relocate us, but we have to pay for the month of March, even though we're not going to be here, or else we have to be vacated by whatever 3 days from now is. I don't want the kids to see that though. But he said that that's the next step. So, good. C'est la vie. The thing that I really didn't agree with my parents is my dad would always say, okay, we're having a family meeting. And he'd get all the kids together and he'd tell us all exactly the gravity of our situation. And I think literally my anxiety started then.
The sun is up. The surf is up. And so is the Paskowitz family. And today, as every day, they're going surfing.
My mom had 8 brothers and I, and a majority of our life was spent in a caravan going around the United States.
Dorian Paskowitz is a 58-year-old doctor. He's a graduate of Stanford Medical School who one day decided to give it all up, close his practice, take his children out of school, and spend the rest of his life traveling with his family in a tiny camper from one wave to another.
My dad was a very chauvinistic, very egocentric guy, and he expected my mom to be very subservient and quiet and not speak back to him, and I was the polar opposite of that. They used to call me the angry Indian. When I was about 13, my mom contracted a very serious illness. I think like 80% of people who contracted this illness died. And so my dad said to us, you know, you kids have to take care of yourselves and each other, and I'm gonna find a cure for Mom. There was that period from about 12 to 15 that we were left on our own. I was 12 years old when this first happened. And so by the time my parents came back and said, okay, you know, we're gonna be parents again, we said, no, we're you know, our childhood is pretty much over. I don't know, I think I'm just instinctively made to handle a lot. I mean, I think my childhood has really brought me to the place where I am today and able to exist and not go insane or take large doses of Xanax every day.
My dad is a huge figure in our lives. He's very present all the time. So is my mom. But I always tell people, and they always ask me how my dad is, and I always say, oh, my dad's fine. You know, he's still complaining. And I always tell them, when my dad stops complaining, that's when I'm really gonna be worried.
I like your butch shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's butch?
Yeah.
Dudley's following me around. What was my dad like as growing up? For me, growing up? You know, I think he was a great role model to me, and certainly many of the qualities that I think are the best qualities that I have certainly came from him, and certainly from my mom.
Thank you.
But you know, he was. I think the hardest part about being his son growing up was that he wasn't around much. The one thing I can say about my parents that's really a very much positive is I had a lot of learning disabilities when I was a kid, and they had the foresight to make sure that I got the help that I needed and pushed me in a direction, a very positive direction. And I think to that I owe them much.
I have no idea what kind of father I was. I really wonder what their mother would say if she had to assess my totality as a father. Where I really find myself up against the wall is with my youngest, Charlie, who's autistic. And I constantly run a wire brush over my body, checking to see how much I've left undone in terms of putting myself out for him. I constantly find myself insufficient there. He's high functioning, so that gives you a lot to hope for. And then when he's tested, you keep hoping, and I kept thinking, well, he'll be discovered to be Asperger's. But they said, no, he's high-functioning autistic.
That connection between like having two families with autism in it, it just is what brought my mom and Matt together in the first place. They've met in the like Autism Speaks community, and like that's what led them to be where they are today. And it's the fact that they have autism in their family is what brought them together in the first place.
Single moms at my support groups say to us, I dream about having one day somebody to share my life with, but I feel like it's never gonna happen to me because of my autistic child.
Willie, can you help me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go, Willie.
Just seeing you and Matt and the load that you have, and yet somehow you found each other and you've made it work. It gave them hope, I think.
Autism Speaks started about 10 years ago. I've been here 5 years, almost 5 years. It's been, a great 10 years. Lots of progress, lots of awareness, lots of advocacy. They passed insurance legislation in 43 states, helped pass the ABLE Act, worked with military families. And that's not even mentioning the science that they've done. They've funded more research than the NIH, which is astounding. We're having the walk tomorrow. It's on Autism Awareness Day. And, the walk is really why I'm here. I wandered into a walk 7 years ago as a lost dad, and my eyes were opened. You learn about things. We have this enormous resource fair. It's huge. Like 100+ tables of people who are doing these crazy, innovative things in the autism world. Wonderful things. And you'll meet a lot of people who are in this for all the right reasons, and they just are incredible people.
When you're first, never mind being diagnosed, the first step is, what do I do? How do I find my community, my people? This is the best place to start, because here, everyone is here. So any questions you have, they can be answered here, and you find that network, that community, but then you gotta navigate the system. And sometimes on your own as a parent, it's very difficult to understand how to access services. So that's what I do. Unfortunately, there are limited resources, and so schools aren't too forthright in offering you what your child absolutely needs, and that's when you gotta go find help.
And I think a lot of families feel that that's the one day of the year that they can all get together and just kind of let loose and just relax and not have to worry, and just, if there's a meltdown, who cares? We're all together on this, and no one's gonna look at you strange, and it's everyone can come to this place and enjoy it and not have to worry.
So I'm going to ask Matt Asner to come up to the stage, and I'm going to turn it over to him. So, Matt.
Thanks, Mark.
Hey, everyone, how you doing? Today is Autism Awareness Day. And I just want to say that you guys all helped raise today $1.35 billion, okay? And I want to say, the LA Walk continues all year long, and our goal is a year goal, and we need you to do that with us. So thank you very much. You guys are awesome. And I guess you guys can take a bow. And you guys can take a bow. We'll see you next year.
We don't have a lot of options. We've actually put bids on a few houses that I had a lot of hesitancy about, and the one that we finally are, God willing, going to settle on, I really feel good about it. It's a little more than we wanted to pay, but it has this enormous park-like backyard. And when you have 5 little boys, 3 with autism, having enough outdoor space is really paramount.
Can you hear? Hopefully you can hear her.
Hello?
Navah?
Nah.
Am I on speakerphone?
Yeah.
Can you take me off speakerphone?
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Okay. I heard from Lauren.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, we're gonna probably have to go down south a little late on Sunday because we've got to go sign a lease.
What does that mean?
That means we got it.
Yes! Oh, thank God! Oh my God, are you so happy?
I am. I'm so freaking relieved, aren't you?
When did they say we could move?
Like, I think immediately.
Oh, I'm so happy. I cannot tell you how happy I am.
I think we'll have many happy memories there.
God almighty.
All right, I love you.
Attitude was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.